Welcome to the Montana Department of Labor and Industry Employment Standards Division course on how to file a wage claim. In this video, we will address who should or should not file a wage claim, the process available for an individual to file a wage claim, including where to find the wage claim forms, how to properly fill out the form, and how to submit the forms. This training is intended for an employee who has performed work in Montana or for a company located in Montana that feels they have not been compensated correctly. Who should file a wage claim? Any employee who was or is allowed or required to work in Montana or for a Montana employer and believes they have not been fully compensated their earned wages may file a wage claim. Employee includes any person who works for another for hire, except that the term does not include a person who is an independent contractor. The employee is referred to as the complainant. Employer includes any individual, partnership, association, corporation, business trust, legal representative, or organized group of persons acting directly or indirectly in the interest of an employer in relation to an employee, but does not include the federal government. This entity is referred to as the respondent. Wages includes any money due an employee from the employer or employers, whether to be paid by the hour, day, week, semi-monthly, monthly, or yearly, and includes bonus, piecework, and all tips and gratuities and service charges. Who should not file a wage claim? Independent contractors and registered construction contractors are not generally entitled to the protections of the wage laws. Section 39-9-207 MCA and ARM 24-35-203. Therefore, these individuals must pursue an action directly with the court. An employee may either seek administrative remedies through the department or file their claim directly in district court, but not both. Stanley v. Holmes, 1994. Therefore, if a claim was already filed in district court, it should not also be filed with the department. Reasons to file a wage claim. Unable to resolve the unpaid wage concerns directly with the business, have not been paid in full for time worked, minimum wage, overtime, commissions, production-based bonuses, tips, or received a non-sufficient funds payroll check. The business did not pay out earned and unused vacation leave or has a policy to pay out earned and unused paid time off, PTO, upon termination and failed to do so. The business withheld wages for damages, shortages, or mistakes. The business did not pay or underpaid prevailing wages or fringe benefits on a public works project. Before filing, please review the frequently asked questions on our website, which will be listed at the end of this video. Reasons not to file a wage claim. Expense reimbursements as they are not considered wages and need to be pursued as a civil action. Payment for time not worked, such as severance, holiday, and sick pay in the private sector. What determines whether a wage claim will be processed? Statute of limitations. A complainant who chooses to file a wage claim with the department must file it within 180 days from the delay or default in the payment of wages. Section 39-3-207 MCA. This is reviewed on a case-by-case basis, but the delay or default date may be determined to be the last date worked, the date of the last paycheck received, or any other date identifying a promise of the payment in question. Claims for overtime subject to the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, or federal wage laws are not required to be filed within the 180-day time frame and will be reviewed for a 2-year period based on when the employer is notified of the claim. Title 29 U.S.C. Section 255. Jurisdiction. Claims may not be accepted if the business is not located in Montana, nor the work performed in Montana during the period of the claim. The employee filed a lawsuit against the business for the same wage concerns. The claim involves concerns requiring interpretation of a collective bargaining agreement, union contract. In these instances, an employee may need to follow the grievance procedures. Work was performed as an independent contractor or registered construction contractor. Where can the wage claim form be obtained? Website. The forms can be located on the Department of Labor's website listed at the end of this video. Mail and email. You can contact the Department of Labor and Industry at dlierdwage@mt.gov and request the form either be mailed or emailed directly to you. Job service. You can go into most local job service locations and request a form be provided or printed out for you. How to complete and submit the form. Instructions. Prior to completing a wage claim form, please review the instructions listed on our website, which provide basic information on the types of claims for unpaid wages our agency can enforce, the pertinent information to provide on or with the wage claim form if it is necessary to do so, the process of what happens once the claim is received, and when to notify our agency regarding your claim. A completed wage claim form is required to initiate and investigate a claim for unpaid wages. It is recommended that all fields be completed, such as complainant name, complete mailing address, email address, telephone number, complete name and mailing address of the respondent, and the reason for filing the claim. The complainant must also include the period in which the wages are alleged to be owed and the total amount claimed for each allegation. Copies of documents are not required to be submitted with the wage claim form. However, any documents which can help substantiate the allegations are encouraged to be submitted. These documents may include an employment contract, wage agreement, collective bargaining agreement, commission statements, invoices, time records, list of hours worked, check stubs, written policies or contracts for vacation pay, paid time off, and bonus and commissions. Wage claim forms may be submitted by mail at P.O. Box 201-503, Helena, Montana 59624, emailed at dlierdwage@mt.gov, or by being brought into our office at 301 South Park Avenue on the 4th floor in Helena, Montana 59601. What happens after filing the wage claim? The department's role. This agency's role is to enforce the wage laws and does not represent either party. As such, a wage claim is not valid simply because it is being processed. This administrative process, like a court proceeding, does not guarantee a timeline for completion nor an outcome in either party's favor. Intake of the wage claim. Once the claim is submitted, it will be reviewed for completeness and to determine jurisdiction. If the claim is found within the department's authority, the parties involved will be notified by phone, mail, and/or email to discuss the allegations in the process. All relevant information will be shared with the respondent along with a request to either submit a check payment or provide specific information to disprove the allegations. Extensions to respond may be granted upon negotiation for reasonable cause. If the claim is resolved prior to investigation, usually no admissions to the allegations will be identified and no penalties will be assessed, unless the claim involves insufficient funds checks or previous history of failure to pay wages. If payment in full is received, we will forward the payment onto the complainant and dismiss the claim. If partial payment is received, we will verify with the complainant whether it satisfies the claim. If accepted, we will forward the payment onto the complainant and dismiss the claim. Otherwise, we are required to hold on to the payment in the department's trust until completion of the investigation process, issuance of an agency determination, and appeal rights have been exhausted. If no response is received, a determination will be issued based upon the limited details of the claim and any supporting information available. Investigation of the wage claim. We will make every effort to assist in resolving a wage claim. However, if the claim is disputed, then it will be transferred to an investigator for a thorough investigation, which is often a lengthy process. If a response disputing the claim is received, the relevant information will be shared with the complainant along with a request to address any new or additional concerns and to provide specific information to prove their allegations. Extensions to respond may be granted upon negotiation. The burden to prove or disprove the allegations may shift between the parties numerous times, resulting in additional requests for information. The outcome of the investigation will be revealed in a written determination which either party can appeal. The appeal timeframes are not subject to extension or negotiation. Tips. The processing of the claim depends upon the cooperation of all parties involved, complexities of the claim itself, and overall caseload as we attempt to gather and analyze all the information necessary to determine the merits of the claim. Notify the Department of Labor for any contact information changes, direct payments received, private settlements, or if you need to withdraw your claim. Please understand we are doing our best to get the claims processed and resolved as quickly and efficiently as possible. Continued requests for status updates oftentimes delay, so we will contact you if or when we need additional information. Here you will find a list of resources available to help you in filing a wage claim. Thank you for joining us for the How to File a Wage Claim presentation.